Now we're going to use all this because today we're going to make a stock from scratch. Does anyone make stock at home? Yeah, okay, stock's a great thing for adding flavour to dishes. Any dish that you can add water to, if you add stock instead, it's going to taste better. There's a few tips I've got with making your stock. I try and make it in big batches. So I typically wouldn't make a stock out of one chicken. I'd put the chicken in the freezer, wait until I've got 3 or 4 chicken frames, and then make one big stock. Same with my veggies. When I peel a carrot, when I chop the ends off a carrot, my onions, all the bits and pieces I'll put into a container in the fridge, and then once a week, once a fortnight, I'll make one big batch of stock. That to me is energy efficient, so we've got, you know, it takes just as much to boil 20 litres of water as it does 2 litres of water 10 times, so we make it in one big batch and it's better. Also the stock, you generally get a better result in big batches. So with storing your stock, best thing to do once you've made your stock is to get it clear, so run it through a strainer, run it through a chucks cloth maybe to get all the particles out. That's going to give you the longest life for the stock. Now stock's fine to freeze, so you're not going to affect the flavour or the ability for it to create dishes by freezing it. So I would have break my stock down into 1 litre. So my 1 litre stocks would make things like risotto, soup, maybe a casserole, something that I need a lot of liquid for. A little 250 ml container, that might create sauce, maybe just add a little bit of liquid back to like my spaghetti bolognese or something like that. And then I'll have an ice cube tray. Now the ice cube tray will fill up with the chicken stock, and when I do a roast or cook a piece of meat or something in the oven, I'll get a couple of ice cubes out, put them into the tray, and just to make my gravy. But that just means I don't have to defrost a big 1 litre stock to get that little bit of flavour that I need. So that's a good way to store your stock. So you make stock out of just about anything. I tend to find, even with like if I do a seafood risotto, I'll still use chicken stock, only because it's a really nice mild flavour. Now the other important thing when you're making your stock, like when we cook, we season with salt, pepper, things like that. When you do your stock, don't do that, because what happens is we've got 10 litres of stock and we put the salt in to taste great. But what happens is that we're going to use that stock to make other dishes. Now we might turn 1 litre into half a litre because we've reduced it. And as soon as we do that, it's too salty because you've obviously got twice as much salt. The other trick too, if you're going to buy pre-made stock, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to have some backup in the pantry, buy the salt reduced one. Because again, if we reduce it down, we're going to end up with a really salty end product. So, scraps, they're not scraps, they go in our stock. So unfortunately today there won't be a lot going back into the compost. So same principle though as what I was saying with the caramelisation. If you're going to do a veggie stock, typically my veggie stock is onion, celery, carrot, and if I've got it, leek. If not, and then all the ends off my herbs. So if I've got a bunch of parsley, all the stalks at the end, they all go into my stock. But same thing, make sure you cook it off in the oil first, so you're getting that extra flavour profile.